Good evening, everyone, and welcome to yet another edition of the Music Dreams USA Radio Artist Spotlight Show, being brought to you by Titan Events Incorporated, Rise Up Family Sports, and my friend, Mr. Stephen Brady with Blue Shamrock Music. On the show tonight, we've got a pretty cool artist coming your way. His name is Mr. Andrew Ship, and we'll talk about his new single. We'll talk about some about his highlights in his career, and we'll find out a lot about him in the next half hour. And so stay right where you are. If you're an upcoming aspiring artist, you want to be next on our show, reach out to Stephen Brady with Blue Shamrock Music. And who knows, you may be our next guest right here on Music Dreams USA Radio. It's your friend Russell K, and you can join us every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern, right here. We're coming to you live on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. So if you're on those social media outlets, give us a shout out. Let us know where you're listening from, and that would be awesome. So without any further delay, let's go live now and meet our special guest. Again, his name is Mr. Andrew Ship. Andrew, how are you, man?
I'm going really good. How are you, Russell?
I'm doing great, and welcome to the show. Appreciate your time. I know it was a short notice. We actually had another artist that was lined up, and they had stuff to come up last minute. So thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to be one of our guests tonight, and we definitely appreciate that. So let's open up our show. Tell us a little bit more about Andrew Ship, the artist.
Well, you say good evening. I should firstly point out good morning from my end because it's I'm over here in Australia. I live in the beautiful Gympie in Queensland, which is just north of the Sunshine Coast, and it's about 10 a.m. here. And I've been here for a little while. I've got a family. I'm married to Rachel, and I've got 3 kids and 1 on the way, which is really exciting. It's due Christmas Eve. In case you need any evidence, it wasn't super duper planned, but we're really excited regardless. And I guess to talk about who I am as an artist, well, that's kind of a challenging one because I'll be upfront with you. I'm not actually a professional, so to speak. I don't get paid to do this full time. So I do it when I can. I love to write music. And I've always played music in church. That's just how I grew up. My dad's a pastor, and so I initially learned to play the drums when I was like about 7, and that was it, man. You're in there. And so from there, I learned to play the other instruments, guitar, piano, and bass, and I've just always done that. In the meantime, I've studied college, done a few different things, and whilst I've done that, I've always had my guitar with me, and I've made a little bit of money here and there playing pub gigs, weddings, restaurants, that sort of thing. But only just now am I making a concerted effort, I guess, to get my songs out there because I believe they've got a message that that could possibly make some sort of a long-term impact on the world.
Wow, that's awesome. So what are the musical plans then? Are you looking to go full-time with this in the music industry? What does that look like for you?
If that sort of opportunity came my way, I definitely wouldn't turn it down. I think I'm cut out to do music. I really love it. I'm good at it. But I guess I've always felt this burden of obligation to my family to make sure that they're well provided for. And so it's something, I guess, where I live anyway, in sort of a more regional area, it's a little bit harder to make ends meet as a full-time musician. So it possibly has to involve some travel. But certainly if I'm able to release some songs that people find really touches them, and then they're interested to have I guess a bit more of that would be all the encouragement I need basically to put my shoulder to the grindstone and release some more.
Awesome. So since we're talking about songs, let's talk about your latest hit, "Still My Number One." How did that song come about, and what does your songwriting look like?
Well, I'm a bit of a hopeless romantic, if I'm honest. Um, and I really love my wife. And basically, where it came from was just um, it's a song a little bit about the pressures of life, I suppose, as a husband or as a married couple, and how basically things like work and responsibilities and whatnot can sometimes get in the way a little bit of that relationship. And so the song is called Still My Number One. And it basically talks about how sometimes I'm at work more than I'm at home. Then it talks about having a baby come along. But the chorus essentially is, there's no way that I forgot you. And you're still my number one. And the way that I believe to do marriage is essentially Rachel's my number one, even above the kids. She's the one I fell in love with. She's the one I married. So it's just a song that reflects that message. And it's a positive sort of upbeat song. And I really wanted that to, I guess, be able to, impart something in other people's lives who are maybe struggling with that aspect of their relationships. Just, hey, slow down a bit. Just remember, they're your number one. The way you talk to them, how you spend time with them. Just try to find that first spark again, I suppose.
That's awesome. Now, do you have any other songs coming up that you're working on right now?
Well, I do. It's perhaps a little bit different, and I haven't totally found my niche or genre yet. Being honest with you, but I've actually got about 10 songs that I'm working on recording at the minute, which are a little bit more focused on my faith. So I've got a suite of about I think about 10 once that's done, and it's essentially going to be a praise and worship album, so to speak. So that will probably be my next thing. But I've found with my guitar playing with fingerstyle and with electric guitar, how I like to do it, it's sort of working out that that I'm going to lean into that country and blues rock sort of thing a little bit more as well. So you should probably expect to see a few more songs, maybe about life with the wife and kids. But I don't have anything immediately on the horizon yet on that side of things. It's the other album at this minute.
I'm glad I'm hearing you talk about Christian music. Especially the way that the world's going down right now. I think Christian music is so important now to try to get the message out there to people, to give them hope, especially in a world where there seems to be no hope. Would you agree with that statement?
Oh, 100%. And just anecdotally, my faith is what has given me hope in a lot of dark times. We're even in a bit of a challenging time at the minute. And so, I listen to Christian music, and I'm lifted up by that. I'm inspired by it to keep going. And essentially, my belief about it is that when I've forgotten all the other purposes for life, if it all seems to just be for nothing, I just remember that I was created from the outset to worship, and that is what I believe about myself. So when I do that, when I sing, I'm doing my meaning for life. So I do that, and then everything's okay somehow. And I've had feedback many times. I did actually play a festival recently with all original songs called the Freedom Music Festival in Gympie. So it's a great festival. Had a lot of feedback about the message in my music, that it's inspiring people to continue holding on to hope and keep moving forward. I think there's not enough of it out there personally, so that's why I'm on this mission to do this album. So all I was going to say in addition to that is I'm not opposed to doing more secular music as well. I'd like to do both, but the Christian music, I think that's going to be priority one from here, and then I'll sort of broaden my horizons a little bit around that.
Question for you. Since we're talking about Christian music, I'm sure you heard of a group called For Kings and Country, right? And one thing I like about that band is they play their music in the secular world, where it just seems like a lot of other Christian bands only play in the Christian communities. Well, maybe except a few other Christian artists that may do secular as well. But the majority of the Christian bands only play, seems like, in the Christian community. I guess my question is, I mean, if you got a good song, and if it's a Christian song, it's a good song, has a good message, why would you not want to consider playing in a secular realm? And people maybe who don't believe, maybe it's a song that can maybe open up their eyes. Would you agree with that philosophy?
Oh, absolutely. I don't really know what the philosophy is with these bands. I would imagine that they probably would want as many people to listen to it as they possibly can. In the world we currently live in, I imagine there's probably some resistance and friction. I know in Australia is probably a lot more secular, as far as I can tell, than the US. And so I give my music to radio stations and go, hey, would you play this? If it contains a message that's too strongly Christian, they're going to balk against it and want to reject it. So it would be a matter of finding maybe a slightly different means of presenting it. But certainly if I'm writing Christian music, I'm someone who wants to proselytize. I want people to know about the message of Jesus and how you can be saved. And so I would like my music to be everywhere. So the only reason I wouldn't would be if there's that kind of resistance where it's like, hey, this is too overtly religious. And my response long term to that will be, hey, you can write a Christian song with the Christian message without necessarily having to reference too many words like Jesus. People freak out at that, but you can still say the message and still have it on those stations that might reject it. If I may give you an example, I have a personal friend in Gympie. His name's Aaron Partridge. He's also a blues shamrock musician, and he writes all of his songs, I should say, contain a Christian message. But it's very country, blues, gospel, and he's got all his music's going all over the place because people just love the message, and he's a fantastic musician. I think that really helps. If it's good music, people will listen to whatever the message is, really. So yeah, sorry, that was probably a bit muddled, but that's kind of my immediate thoughts on that.
Oh no, that great feedback there. I appreciate you sharing that with us, and I couldn't agree with you more. As I mentioned just earlier, right? I mean, we're actually living in a world right now where just all kinds of crazy things are going on, and I think Christian music is probably more important now than it's ever been before. I mean, if we're gonna get the word out, I think now's the time to do that. And so again, thank you for sharing that. Other than playing at that festival you just told us about a few minutes ago, do you have any other highlights that you'd like to share with us that thus far in your musical career?
Oh, that'd be a tough one. I've played a few times on the drums for Aaron Partridge. Again, that's my friend whose music's going really well. He's in the States at the minute, actually. It was a real pleasure to play with someone of that caliber, I guess, and to just and also to go back to my first instrument. I love playing drums, but I play guitar and sing more than anything else. Also, this is going to sound weird, but I love Christmas music. And here in Gympie, we have Christmas at the Park. It's been a couple of years since I've done it because I've had babies, basically, at this time of year. So, but but playing alongside what was essentially a combined churches event put together for thousands of people turn up in town and sing the traditional carols. I played electric guitar for that event. A lot of I'm trying to remember the name now. Lincoln Brewster. A lot of Lincoln Brewster influence in that music, and I play a Strat. I love his lead style, and so that's probably one of my favourite events that I've played at. Also, we've got a bit of a local scene here that the council actually does support it, and so have been paid on occasion to actually play in areas around Gympie and the Sunshine Coast. And what they're after is original music, and so I was able to play all original songs, and so yeah, I've really enjoyed that. But to be honest, that's about it. I don't want to try and overplay myself here. I'm actually, I'm a mechanic, so music has always been what I've done because I love it. At some point, it might be something that is the breadwinner in the home. But right now, it's something I get to do, not have to do. So it's really good in that sense.
Wow. Nothing's real good. I've been doing this show for years. It's the first time I've ever sneezed during a live show. Yeah, so so I'm sure Stephen will let me know that one too, because he keeps all the stats on the shows. So speaking of Stephen Brady and Blue Shamrock Music, how did you get to meet him?
That was pretty inspired, actually. I was writing this song, Still My Number One, and I actually sent a copy to Aaron Partridge, and again, he's a guy that's taking off at the minute and doing some really awesome stuff. And I respect his thoughts and his ability to produce music. So I sent him a copy of my song, and I said, "Hey man, do you think this is any good? Do you think I should get this out there?" And he just said, "Yeah, like this is catchy. People are going to love it." He said, "You need someone to help you get your music out there." So he said, "Contact Stephen Brady at Blue Shamrock Music," and he gave me a couple of other things, a couple of Australian music websites that would just help me to, I guess, make sure my music's mine. And that was it. I sent an email to Blue Shamrock Music. Stephen just walked me through it. I feel really blessed to be able to have my music heard, because to be honest, it's not something. I have a bit of a complex at times. I didn't think it was going to be good enough for anyone to want to hear it, And so when Stephen heard a demo of a track, he's like, "Yeah, man, here's the forms, here's how you do it," and he's essentially done everything. He's promoted it. He's put it out to different radio stations. He's set up the interviews. He's told me what I need to provide in terms of sound bites for radio and stuff like that. And so it's been awesome. A1 service.
So let me ask you this. What would you like to share with our artists who are watching now that we'll be watching later? What is something you'd like to let them know about you?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I guess I'm a person who's very conscious of leaving a legacy somehow, and something that's really important to me is, I guess, is marriage and family, the traditional family unit. I'm old school, and these days I know that's a bit controversial, but I think in this day and age the vows aren't taken seriously like they used to be, and things aren't done the way they used to be. And I think it's perhaps because life is just so busy, and we just tend to forget about each other. And so that's kind of my message at the minute, especially over Christmas. is you need to enjoy the feelings, but love isn't a feeling. Love is a verb. Love is an action. That's what you do. It contains a bit of self-sacrifice. It's seeking to understand more than to be understood. And that's something I'm really passionate about. And I always share that with my friends who come to me for counsel in their relationships. And I know I'm only a young man, but I've been with my wife for 12 years now. We've been married and survived some pretty rocky ups and downs. And I think that's because we've just never forgotten our initial love for one another and put that into action as opposed to just trying to maintain a warm, fuzzy feeling. That's not what it's about. And if you keep chasing that, you'll step outside your marriage until you get a fuzzy feeling again, and then you'll realise it was a mistake. And it's a trap, So
Wow.
I don't know if that's what you're looking for.
No, that's awesome. I appreciate you sharing that with us. And so if I were to come to your show, what type of show could I expect to hear?
Ooh, well, lately I've been playing with a band, and that's been really good. Initially, it was always solo acoustic, and so there's a lot of energy. I've got a great drummer and keys player and bass player that just they like to move and groove. So I don't know. There's plenty of energy. And I think what you can expect is a lot of positive message songs, but also something that I do sing about. I do have another song that's already out there currently. That's called "Even the Darkness Will End," and it sounds like a pretty dark name for a song, but it's basically a song about my battle with depression. Very long-term sort of mental health challenges, but essentially there's a message of hope and healing that's kept me going all the way along, and that's something that's in the chorus of that song. Again, it's got a fair bit of energy to it, that song, and so I don't know. That's just the way I kind of like to do it, just to bring a bit of energy. It's good music. There's always a musical element to it. I have a lot of influences on guitar that include a bit of lead, and so there's always guitar solos, and that's pretty much it.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us. And with the depression you're talking about, that's definitely a serious issue right now around the world about people dealing with a lot of depression and a lot of people not knowing where to go. And so, Percy, I just want to say thank you for sharing that on our show. It's a real topic, and it's definitely something that needs to be addressed. And so, again, thank you for doing that. Now, how can our listeners get in contact with you, not only just to download your music, but also maybe to hire you for an event?
Yeah, well, probably the easiest way would be through my musician page on Facebook. It's just Andrew Shipp, musician. You can find me there. Some people contact me through my personal page as well, so I'm fine with that. It's just Andrew Shipp, SHIPP for Peter. Also, I've got my music is on Spotify. It's on YouTube. You can get it from Blue Shamrock Music, and there's a number of radio stations that have put it available for download as well around Australia and overseas. So there's plenty of ways you can find me. If all else fails, just Google it, Andrew Shipp Music. And I'd love to make myself available for a gig. Someone wants me to come and play.
That'd be awesome. As we wind down our show this evening, do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share with us?
I don't know. I've done a lot of talking. I don't know. We're coming up to Christmas, so just remember the real reason for the season. Remember your family. Just enjoy that time. You never know when something could change, so you really got to enjoy things, in the moment. Be present where you're present. Put the phone down. That's my hardest challenge. Stick it on charge somewhere in the way. and yeah, make eye contact and just be present with the people you're present with.
I love it. And well, it's so nice to meet you. And thank you for your time this morning. Well, this morning where you are, this evening where we are. So again, thank you for your time and all the best in your musical journey. And if there's anything you ever need, feel free to reach out to Music Dreams USA Radio. We'd love to work with you. And blessings to you and your family. And hope you have a holiday season, a great holiday season up there in Australia. And again, thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you so much. I feel honoured to have had a chat with you. Thank you so much for playing my song. And I really do hope to catch up with you again soon. That'd be great.
Oh, yeah. We'll definitely do a part 2 for sure. All right, my friend. Well, that was Mr. Andrew Shipp. And we want to say thank you. He's coming to us all the way from Australia in the morning. So, again, special thank you to him. Stephen Brady with Blue Shamrock Music again. It's your friend Russell K coming to you live from our Somerville, South Carolina studios. Again, we are being brought to you by Titan Events Incorporated, Rise Up Family Sports, and Blue Shamrock Music with Mr. Stephen Brady. Until the next time, thank you so much for watching. Again, you can check us out every Wednesday from 7. Actually, let me take that back. 6:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern. You can check us out with another live artist. And next week, right before Christmas, we will have another artist for you. Until then, happy holidays to you and yours. Make it safe and happy. And again, support your local radio stations. Support your local artist. And that's what we're all about. Until next time, it's your friend Russell K. Wishing you and yours a very pleasant good evening. And once again, thank you so much for watching.